What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Panfro Games, and we have even more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news and leaks to share with you all today. And the theme of today's episode is Paradox Pokemon. We've been talking about it in the last few episodes, but this one is going to be pretty massive, as we know pretty much all the different types for the Paradox Pokemon, and we're going to figure out the exact type combos by the end of the video for each one. And this is incredibly exciting stuff because we're going to see some new type combinations, which is going to change the way we're going to be playing competitive Pokemon. And of course, guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, enjoy the video, like it, I really appreciate it. Let's begin with a Riddler Coup tweet. So he says, Beauty Reincarnation with an image of Pheromosa and Salazzle, Pheromosa being bug fighting, Salazzle being poison and fire. Yesterday's video, if you haven't checked it out yet, we talked about Volcarona and we learned about some of the Paradox typings. We knew that this Pokemon Scarlet Volcarona is going to be getting the bug typing, but no fire typing. And the one in Violet was when we get the fire typing and no bug typing. So after the other leaker Kaka put all this information out and I published the video, Riddler Coup put this tweet out. And this pretty much all but confirms the typing of the Volcaronas. And it seems like I'm 99 certain at this point that Pheromosa here is supposed to be representing the typing for Pokemon Scarlet's exclusive Volcarona, which is bug fighting. And then Salazzle is going to be doing the same, representing Pokemon Violet's Volcarona, which is going to be fire and poison. I was so far from the truth on my guesses, honestly. I was never going to see a bug fighting Volcarona, which apparently does look like Larvesta, which is what Riddler Coup also tweeted out yesterday, which is another context that he is talking about the Volcaronas because he did tweet this out before. So we are pretty certain that this is what it is. A bug fighting Volcarona that looks like Larvesta and a fire poison Volcarona for Pokemon Violet. I can see fire poison being a thing. Think of the future, think of pollution, or you can probably think of Mothra as well, Godzilla monster, because Mothra does spray out poison, has like magic dust essentially. I can see that being a more poison type to it. The bug fighting, I have no idea. It's a supposedly Volcarona more in a larva state. I assume because it is like Larvesta, it's going to have its legs still. It's going to be walking on the ground. So maybe it's a Volcarona that never learned how to fly and instead just stood up and learned how to fight. And we have another Kaka recap, and this is another big recap because it actually gives us a lot of confirmation information on Paradox Pokemon and their typings. And we also learned some other interesting stuff about some other new Pokemon coming back and their types as well. So we learned that Greninja is not in Scarlet and Violet on day one. We're going to need a Pokemon Home update most likely to see if he's allowed to come in, maybe through a DLC in the future. I can actually predict that all the starters will be available through the DLC, but currently Greninja will not be in the game day one. Slagoon is not a Paradox version, which we already know about the full Paradox list. Paradox Jigglypuff is a fairy type and something else, but we also learned it is not going to be a dark type, not going to be a ghost type, and it's also not a normal type either because Paradox Pokemon do change one of their typings. So Jigglypuff already being a fairy type knows we're going to be dropping the normal type on it. We also learned that Paradox Volcarona in the past is not an ice type, which we already talked about. Riddler Coup confirmed that it is bug and fighting, so we got more confirmation there. We also learned that Paradox Hariyama is not a steel type, but it is a fighting type. So mono type Pokemon originally are going to keep their original typing and gain a second type. All Paradox Pokemon have two types. There are no new ground types we don't know about, but there is two Paradox Donphans. So we know that both Paradox Donphans are going to keep their ground typing. The Crab boss Pokemon is only a rock type, so it is a mono rock crab single stage Pokemon. And Paradox Mischievous is confirmed again by Kaka to be Ghost and Fairy, which is a phenomenal typing. We also learned that Paradox Delibird loses the flying type, keeping that ice type, so it's going to be ice and something else. Grimmsnarl is in the game, which is our first confirmation of Grimmsnarl being in Scarlet and Violet, and I love this. Grimmsnarl is definitely one of the more popular Pokemon from Gen 8, one of my personal favorite Pokemon from Gen 8, also a fantastic competitive Pokemon. So this is awesome. Hyped to bring over my shiny Grimmsnarl for sure. Gliscor is not in the game. Pretty disappointing, and it's also a very strong competitive Pokemon too, so I guess, you know, for people who hate Gliscor, you know, you should be happy because that Pokemon is very annoying to deal with. The Perigee Pokemon is now confirmed to be normal and flying. Before we knew it was just going to be flying, but now it is normal and flying. This is okay. There is 6 Pokemon based off of birds. So at least one of them being normal and flying is okay to me. We don't, as long as they're not all normal and flying, which we know they aren't, this is okay. And the Hike Fish is a single stage Pokemon, which is the leaked image of that fish that we saw a couple days ago. And Chatot is not in the game. Whimsicott is not in the game, which is actually going to be a big deal for competitive Pokemon, as that is a staple for a lot of teams and a very strong Pokemon too. Giratina probably be able to be brought in from home. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything. I assume all legendary Pokemon will come into the game by the second DLC. The electric bird, which is electric and flying, only evolves once, so cool to know. There is no Ninja in the game, so no ninjas in this game either, so that whole line is gone, so we don't have to worry about Wonder Guard, Electric Terra, so that's good at the very least. At least they thought about that. And the spider is still a bug type when it evolves, so it looks like, yes, the spider Pokemon is going to be a mono bug type. And now for our Paradox typing headline story here today. And this is a little bit confusing, so I'm going to break it down. So, one, this list here does not include Suicune and Virizion. They are DLC. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet each have 7 Paradox Pokemon. If we add that up together, that is 14 Paradox Pokemon. There's a total of 14 Paradox Pokemon in the game. Each Paradox Pokemon has 2 types. 14 times 2 is 28. So there is 28 Paradox typings. And Kakai here has given us 25 of the typings. There is 4 electric, 5 fighting, 3 fairy, 3 dragon, 3 dark, 2 ground, 1 ghost, 1 grass, 1 ice, 1 bug, 1 fire, and then 3 unknown. But this is not necessarily true because Riddler Coup did tell us one of them. So we're going to add 1 poison because we know the Volcarona is fire and poison. So add 1 poison in here. So there's 2 unknown types. These are 2 different types he did not include into this list. So in order to figure out all the typings of the Paradox Pokemon using the new information, we need to confirm what we already know. So this is all of the confirmed typings that we know right at this moment for the Paradox Pokemon. We also have the new evolutions as well, just to make it easier if you don't know. Like Primate becomes a fighting ghost. We don't know about Wooper's new evolution, but I assume it's going to be Poison Ground. Giraffridge Psychic, Dunsparce Normal, and Bisharp is going to be Steel and Dark for their new evolutions. But for the Pokemon Scarlet's Paradox Pokemon, we know Jigglypuff is keeping that Fairy type, Amoonguss is keeping that Grass type, Volcarona confirmed by Riddler Coup to be Bug and Fighting, Salamence is keeping that Dragon type, Donphan is keeping that ground type. Mischievous is coming a ghost and fairy type. For Magneton, we know it's either going to be an electric or steel type with a new type. And for Pokemon Violet, we know that Delibird is keeping that ice type. Gallade is going to keep that fighting type. Future Volcarona confirmed by Riddler Coup to be fire and poison. And for Trainer, we aren't sure, but it's either going to be rock or dark. Donphan is going to be a ground type again. Hariyama is going to be a fighting type. Hydreigon either going to be dragon or dark. And we don't know about the DLC at this moment. And now using all the information we know of what Paradox Pokemon types are already confirmed, we know what types there aren't going to be as well. And then using the 25 types that Kaka said are going to be 100% used out of the 28, Riddler Coup adds 1 more type on that. And then for the last 2 types, I make a very strong educated guess, and I'll definitely mention those there. So starting with Pokemon Scarlet, we know that Jigglypuff is a fairy, but we're going to be getting a fairy either fighting or fairy and electric. Both of these are very exciting to me. Fairy fighting, so strong offensively. Same with electric. So either way, this Pokemon is going to be a beast. I am personally leaning actually towards the fairy and electric on it, but we'll have to see. Amoonguss either be Grass Dragon, Grass Dark. I'm leaning towards the Grass Dragon because I don't think the Dark really fits, especially because I am assuming that Tyranitar is going to be taking that last Dark spot, and it would be weird for Tyranitar to change both of its typings. We already know about Volcarona being bug fighting. Salamence is going to become a dragon and dark type based on what the types it won't be. This is the one that makes the most sense. So dragon and dark for Salamence. Then ground in fighting for Donphan and Scarlet, which is actually the best offensive combo in the game. You're super effective against 8 different Pokemon types, which is incredible. We already knew Mischievous was going to be Ghost and Fairy. Now, Magneton, we are adding one of the 2 unknown types here, and it makes a lot of sense for Magneton to be an electric rock type, losing that steel type, because think about it. There are magnetic rocks out there, and it was a type that was not listed here already, and it cannot keep both its electric and its steel typing. And since it's in the past, what becomes before steel is unrefined minerals like rock. So I'm pretty confident on this Magneton typing. Now for the Pokemon Violet exclusives, Delibird is either going to be Ice and Electric or Fighting. Same with Jigglypuff. So pretty much one of these is going to get the Fighting, the other one's get the Electric. We can't make a big decision on it. Ice Electric would be sick to see, but Ice Fighting would also be pretty good offensively as well. The Gallade looks to be a Fairy and Fighting, which I've been saying this the entire time. It pretty much split the Gardevoir and the Gallade typing, and they just essentially removed the Psychic typing and took their unique typing and combined them together. We learned that Volcarona is a Fighting Poison from Coup, and then Tyranitar dropping the Rock typing to be an Electric type. Dark Electric Tyranitar. I can see the Mecha Godzilla here. I can totally see it. The dark typing is the main type of Tyranitar, no doubt. Then we get a dark ground Donphan, a fighting Psychic Hariyama. So Psychic is the secondary typing that we are adding here. It honestly makes a lot of sense personally, because when we look at Hariyama as a fighting type, it reached Enlightenment. I can see like something like Medicham here. This could honestly be another type too, but this is the one that makes the most sense to me when I was making this list. Then Hydreigon being a Dragon Electric, dropping the Dark typing. And I can see this happen because I already mentioned earlier in the video about Mothra for future Volcarona. Just mentioned Mecha Tyranitar, as in Mecha Godzilla, right? Hydreigon is based on King Ghidorah. Ghidorah's big thing is using electricity to shoot all those beams out. So Hydreigon picking up the electric typing and still being a dragon makes so much more sense to me. So I think this is a big lock on the Hydreigon typing. I also want to say, I think the Tentacool is going to be a grass and a fairy type for the convergent species. Well, there we have it, guys. That is my unconfirmed list of types for Paradox Pokemon based on all the information that we have. Looking at this list, I am so excited for the unique typing on Tyranitar. I don't believe we have ever had a dark electric type. So this Tyranitar typing has me so stoked right now. I think this is my #1 absolutely hype Pokemon. I am really excited to see that Volcarona for being bug and fighting, and for the fire poison too. Both of them sound pretty sick. But man, Dragon Electric Hydreigon, I think this pretty much locks in that I will be going to Pokemon Violet as my main game. Well, guys, let me know which one is your favorite from this list, or if you have any different thoughts or feelings on this. Please like the video and subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a great one.